What up and welcome back to the Dirty Lounge, everyone. With you as always, I am your host, the Dirty Saiyan. If you haven't already, please smash that like button, post up in the comments section below, and subscribe to the channel, being sure to hit that notification bell and select all to be alerted to future content on the channel. All of these interactions really do help me out on the YouTube algorithm, guys, and it's very much appreciated when you do so. But today, I'm coming at you with part 2 of my special how-to series. This time we're going to go over the process that I have for creating overlays, or as some of you may call it, side art. Now, if you're an up-and-coming YouTuber, or if you've been around and you typically use just your regular screen capture to do your videos, this tutorial will hopefully get you to the point where you can get yourself some nice overlay art for your videos, and it will really get them to pop off a bit more. Remember, people may be coming to you watch your videos primarily for the gameplay or the summoning or what have you, but when you've got some really nice art and that catches the viewer's eye, it really does help you out and set you apart from other content creators. Now, overlays, unlike thumbnails, can be set up, and if you really like them, you can just use it forever on all of your videos over and over and over if that's what you want to do. This can also have the added benefit of setting you apart from other creators with kind of your own branding in this way. And if you watch a lot of the larger content creators like Goresh or Ryuden or D-Free, they tend to have their overlays set and they don't change them for quite some time. So that's that. But everybody's different, right? So I won't lie, overlays are absolutely my favorite thing to do between banners, thumbnails, and what have you. The simple reason is that there's so much you can do with them in terms of formatting, and that you can just do a lot with them, whereas you can't really say the same thing about thumbnails and banners. You can get really creative with what you're doing with these overlays. But enough of all that, folks. Let's roll into this intro, get into that creative process fun, and let's go. All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's get started real quick, and I will first start off by saying that I will use pretty much all of the same apps and websites that I use to make thumbnails, like in the last video. If you haven't already checked that video out, please, it'll be in the link will be in the description below, and it'll probably be at the end of this video as well. So if you want to go check that out, I really highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to do your own art. But we will be using Photo Layers as the primary app for the creation of the overlay, and our website for text will be flamingtext.com. That said, the first thing you're going to want to do, just like with the thumbnail tutorial video, is grab a background to use as your template that will allow you to then be able to use that anytime you want to make a new overlay. You're also going to want to open up whatever mobile game you play and take a screenshot of it, and you'll see why in just a little bit. You can use anything you want for the background image, but I recommend that you make sure the resolution is correct for a full screen image. I personally use an image that has a resolution size of 2560 by 1440 for my own templates. But anyways, let's get started. I already have my 2560 by 1400 or 1440 image, so I'm just going to pop that in there as soon as I open up my Photo Layers app. Okay, we got Photo Layers open. We're going to click on the middle of the screen, and I'm going to look for the background image that I have already downloaded. There we go, nice little space background. And I'm going to go to the color slider here as soon as I click on done, and I'm going to make the entire image white by turning the brightness up all the way to max. There we go. Now we're going to grab that screenshot that I told you about earlier. Go ahead and click on add photo, and I go into my screenshots here. And I'm just going to grab a Dragonball Legends screenshot that I took earlier. Click OK, or done. Then I'm going to fit it to the screen. And then I'm going to size it up so that I get rid of the excess from the top and bottom of the image. And this will give me the maximum size. So when I use it to put my video in there later on in my video editing app, it'll be there and the size will be correct. Now, this is our template, obviously, so this is just going to give us an idea of where the edge of our art portions of the side art is going to be. The middle portion, obviously, going to be blank, so we can put our video on top of this overlay. So once you're happy with the placement of your screenshot and it looks okay, you got it the right size and everything like that, you're going to go to the color sliders here. I put the sepia all the way down to 0, and that'll give it a red hue. I mean, it doesn't matter what color you choose to make this. It's literally just to give us an idea of where the center of where our video is going to go, so we know where the art is going to be going off screen at on either side of the video, if you get what I'm saying. So once you've done that, click on Save or Done. And this is our template. We're going to use this going forward to make any other template that we ever want to make. All right, I'm sorry, any other overlay that we ever want to make. Go ahead and close the program out to get out of the apps for the advertisements. And I'll go back into photo layers here in just a moment, and we're going to get started on actually bringing all the PNG renders and stuff in. Now, I have a ton of PNG renders already saved on my phone. You might want to go to dbz.space and grab some of your own, or go to Google or wherever. Just do some searches and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff. But we're going to go ahead and start putting our objects into here, and I'll show you kind of how I go along with creating one of these overlays. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a photo. Okay, click on that. And I'm going to grab my first character render. I've got a UI Goku here saved, Goku sign or UI sign. Okay, got that. We'll click on Done. And we're going to set him to the left side. So I'm going to scale him up in size and kind of place him in the middle of that white section on the side there. And once I'm happy with his placement, we'll move on to the next character render that I've got, which is Jiren. So you kind of want to, I mean, this is all personal preference, obviously. So you're going to want to kind of center your character in the middle of this white section. We'll grab Jiren, and we're gonna do the same thing. Now, if you'll notice, he's facing to the right. I don't like my characters facing off of the page, so I flip him over so that he will be facing in towards the middle. Then I just scale him up and get him to the right size, and I'll place him on this side over here. Let's scale him up just a little bit more. Okay, perfect. I pretty much like him right there. Cool. So the next thing we're going to do is grab some energy effects and place it on either one of these character model renders here. I've got a bunch saved, like I said before, so I'm just going to scroll through here and pick out a couple here that I like for each side. All right, so I'm going to also be placing a background behind both of these characters as well, to kind of give it a little bit more character. You can always go with a straight black or white background or a solid color, but sometimes you want to actually put some kind of a picture behind them, and it just gives it your, like I said, it gives your art a little bit more flavor sometimes when you do that, and you don't always do the same thing. All right, so we got these energy motes here. We're gonna place these on top of Goku. Pretty typical for most render stuff. I like to put little energy motes around them. Just kind of gives it doesn't make the art so plain. All right, then we're just gonna play around with these color sliders here. I like contrast and saturation up high. Maybe change the brightness up a little bit, and then we'll give it a nice glow on the shadow panel. Put the opacity all the way to max. Make the blur really small, almost down to all the way to the least amount. And I gave it a blue with a little bit of extra red tint to it. So the motes themselves are blue, but the outline glow is going to be kind of almost a light purplish color with that extra red in the tint. Which, if you notice that Goku's UI sign has aura that has several color gradients within it, so it just makes sense to have a couple of different colors for each of these little effects that we're adding to them. I kind of like this one too. It gives like a almost like a lens flare type effect, but it's not quite so strong as a lens flare. We'll put these little shiny motes on, and we'll scale it up. just a little bit. There we go. Do the same thing with saturation and the contrast. I'll change the brightness and whatnot a little bit too. Cool. All right. Next things next. We're gonna move on over to Jiren and give him some effects as well. Just gonna find one that I kind of like for him. Let's see here. I kind of like this one here, the purple one. Yeah, that's neat. We're gonna give this to him. I'm gonna scale that up properly, squeeze it a little bit smaller, and just place it. I don't want the lines to be covering his face, so I'm just gonna make sure that I've got the right positioning of these little energy lines. Cool, that looks good right there. We're gonna change the coloring. I'm gonna make it red to match his aura that he's already got there, since he is pretty much just red and white aura. And again, you're just going to want to play around with these sliders as much as you want, just to get the effect and the look and the feel of the effects that you want. This is all personal preference. You don't have to do everything exactly the way I do it, obviously. All right, let's grab another one here. I kind of want like a lightning effect, that one there. Yep. So, and again, you could pick effects that have completely different colors from what you're looking for. You can always change the color. It doesn't matter. You just grab what you think looks cool and then change the color as needed. So we position this, again, making sure not to cover the face. Get the contrast brightness up. Contrast and saturation up. See, you could change these colors and so on and so forth. You can do like a purple, a pink, whatever. In this case, I think I'm going to stick with red. Just looks neat. Okay. Oh, and if you ever make a mistake, if you click on one of the X buttons all the way to the right, it will reset the setting to default, whatever the default started off as. So if you make mistakes, you can always, just set to default and you're good to go. You can start over. Okay. And again, I'm just tinkering with these until they look the way that I like to see them look. And then once I'm done, I move on to the next object. Okay. All right. I'm going to find something else here. I feel like I'm missing something. What should I pick? Oh, I know. I kind of don't have backgrounds yet, so I'll set the backgrounds real quick. I like this one. Got a little planet in the background. Now, if you notice, we have Jiren positioned in his slot on the right side, and he's kind of more in the right side of the frame. So we want the planet to be on the left side. So we'll kind of do this just to give it the proper spacing. Go ahead and fit this. Oh yeah, and you can move it up and down on the layer level too. So we put it behind Jiren. And get the right sizing, put it behind him. Now it looks like Jiren's standing in front of a planet. Pretty cool, right? Not too bad. All right, we're going to do the same thing for Goku. I'm going to pick the one I had actually picked earlier accidentally when I was clicking through this. There it is. It's right. I just passed it. Where am I going? I think there's another one down the bottom. If not, I'll just go back to it. Yeah, okay. I thought I had more background stuff, but it might be on my old phone. I'm just going to go ahead and go with this one in the middle here. And I'll set the aspect ratio to 9:16 because that's pretty close to the size of each one of the characters' sections on the side, on either left or right. So we'll resize this properly, put it behind Goku, just like that. I don't like the color because it kind of washes out the color of his aura. So I'm going to change that and get the saturation contrast up. Let's give it kind of like a purplish hue Yeah, see, that looks pretty dope. It gives it a little bit of contrast to his aura, so it doesn't look like it's all bleeding into one thing. Cool. Now I need to put some energy motes on top of Jiren, because I did forget that as well. And I found some good ones here. Let's get that same size, 9x16. All right, size it up, position it over Jiren, making sure not to cover the face again. Cool. Now once that's set, everything is good. We give it a little bit of glow on the shadow. I'm going to give it like a little pinkish glow to those little motes, just to change it up and contrast with the red a little bit. Just give it some flavor. And once you're done, we don't want to put anything else behind the characters. That's when you know you're good to save. Now remember, we can only use 10 PNG objects or layers, I should say, in each one of these saved files. So what I like to do is once I start getting close to 10 and I'm happy with the background, what's behind the characters, I'll save it just so I can have more freedom to add more things later on if I want to. All right, we'll save this. I'll close the program so I don't have to sit through the ad, and then I'll wait for the program to load up again. Here we go. All right, we'll go into our photo layers folder where they're always saved. Grab that. Done. And now what we're going to want to do is add some text. I'm gonna throw my name on this, so we're gonna minimize and go into the website, flamingtext.com. Perfect. There we go. And this site has, I think, what is it? Let me check real quick. 37 pages of these different styles of fonts, or I'm sorry, styles of text. And there's hundreds of different fonts that you can utilize for each style. So a lot of choices here, which is why I really, really like this particular website. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to do this Chrome one because that looks pretty neat. Why not? Something different. I haven't done a Chrome one in quite some time. All right, click on Edit Logo. And let's do like what we talked about in the last video. We're going to set the size up to max on the text itself. And by doing this, we give ourselves the highest possible resolution so that when we scale the text up in our overlay, it doesn't lose a lot of quality. If you go over that line, you got to pay a subscription fee on this website, but I don't want to do that again, so we won't. We're just bringing up to the max size here, and we'll go into logo. And this particular style doesn't have extra layers like the last time where we had like 3 different outline or one main color for the text and then 2 outline colors. This one doesn't have that. It's a very special style, so it's got its own little sliders for different things. And in this case, it's the glowy effect around the text itself. So I'm gonna just tinker with these until I get what I like. Yeah, man, messing with the Chrome slider really made it look derpy initially. So I'm gonna just get it till slide this over till I get what I'm looking for out of this Chrome look. Let me go up to like 9.9. Yeah, that looks good. I'm gonna stick with that. Cool. We'll move on. We'll get rid of the no shadow on this one. We're gonna change the text font itself though. As soon as I change my name, the font, I'm not, for this particular style, I don't really like the font. It's one I use a lot though, ethnocentric. It's actually pretty good. It's just not what I'm looking for right now. Let's try Zipperhead, man. That looks pretty stylized. Oh yeah, I like that. That's cool. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use this. Click on next. Then we're gonna click on the middle where the text is at, and hold our finger down, and then we're going to download the image. So anytime you want to save, you just hold finger on it and then download image, and you're good. It'll save into your downloads folder. All right, we're going to throw that text in here. I'm going to go into my downloads folder again, pull the image, and we're just going to resize it, place it over Goku down here at the bottom. And we're just going to kind of put it in a general spot where we're going to have it. Now I'm going to give this a shadow, a black shadow background, so it looks like it's hovering off of the page. And it's going to give us a nice 3D effect. And you do this by going into the shadow sliders, put the opacity to max, blur to 0, and then you start messing with the X or Y offsets to change the location or the direction of the shadow. I'm going to have it drop straight down just a little bit, and then I'm going to do the blur so that it gives it the effect that it's not right on the page, because if you have it without any blur, it's going to look like it's right on top of the page. We want to give it the appearance that it's a little bit farther off the page than that. Cool. I mean, you could do any kind of text you want. Obviously, doing this same method I just did, you could change the fonts. You can put in your Instagram text or your Twitter handle, whatever it is that you want. Any kind of special message you want to put to your viewers, like post in the comments #DirtyCrew, kind of like what I've done on a few of mine. Just little things like that. It's all up to you. It's all personal preference. So whatever's clever for you, man, whatever works for you, that's what you want to do with your text. But I'm going to leave it just like it is right now. That's all I'm really looking for, because this is just an example, just to give you an idea of how I do the text and how I place it, and what I do effects wise. You can also, like we did with the thumbnail, change the text in the IBIS Paint X program and give it some other effects that we don't have access to here in this program. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on, get that screenshot that you had from earlier. Same thing as before. So resize it up so that you get the top and bottom excessive portions gone. And then change the color. I'm going to actually change this to green, I think, here in a moment. Yeah, let's change this to green. I don't really like the red. It's because it's going to clash with what I'm looking at with Jiren on the right side. And you kind of want to make it a nice, solid color, obviously, because we're going to be using the background eraser to get rid of this. You don't want it to be like just the screenshot, if you know what I mean. So now I'm going to show you how to do the nice little border edge along either side of the screen area. You don't have to do it. You can leave it as is right here, just like this. But this is something that I like to do. It just gives the overlay a little more character. So I've got a rectangle saved in here somewhere. It's just a plain black rectangle. One of these. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay, cool. So we use this. I'm going to change the sizing and then go to free. And I'm only going to grab the top portion of this rectangle. And it is a transparent PNG, so there's no, obviously nothing in the middle of the square or of the rectangle. See, this is as small a size you can go height-wise, where I have it right now. All right, we're going to flip that on its side. Click on the little clock-looking icon on the bottom left corner, and that'll give it a 90-degree edge. So we're going to place this layer behind our screenshot area, and we're just going to get it to where we have a nice thin line being exposed from behind it. You don't want to make it too thick because it kind of looks a little bit wonky, at least in my opinion. Again, you could do whatever you'd like, but for me, I don't like having super thick lines just because I think it looks weird. And then what I want to do is change the color to something that kind of matches the theme on this side of the overlay. It's got more of a blue/purple kind of theme going on this side, so I'm gonna stick with a nice blue color. And once I've got that blue color, I'm going to show you how to give it the appearance of a shadow. So we're gonna make it look like our screen is also above the overlay. It's kind of like, you know, hovering above our artwork there. So we go to the shadows sliders. We go to make our opacity maximum, and then we just change the. I think this one's Y. Yeah, change the Y offset. That'll go right there. And so you want it to extrude just a little bit farther out from the videos area than our blue line did, and then we're going to blur it a little bit, giving it the appearance of a shadow. And we're going to do the same thing on the Jiren side. I'm going to do a red line for him, and you also want to move your text over once you've done those once you've done the border line like that, just so you know you center the text better once that's done. So let's grab another rectangle. And I use this rectangle specifically because if I want to use the same color on both sides, I can just grab the whole rectangle. I don't have to grab a section like I'm doing right now. But this is how I do, a two-sided with different colors on each side. All right, expand. Let me move this around. All right, let's drag this up. I'm going to place this layer behind. There we go. And we're just going to move it out a little bit. Change the color to red. There we go. Color. All right. And I like to give these specifically no blur on the actual image itself, only on the shadow. And that gives you a sharper line. Okay. Once again, give it an all black line, move the Y over a little bit, and then we're going to blur it, giving it that shadowy effect. So there you go. Kind of looks like the location of the screen is lifted off of the page a little bit, which gives us this nice 3D effect. Kind of neat. So then we save this. We are almost done. We're going to head into the last step here, and that's going to go into the background eraser, and we're going to get rid of that middle portion. And that's real simple to do. Go into our photo layers, grab this one, hit done, minimize the offset, go to auto, maximize, and it automatically grabs that green out of the picture for us. So we save it, and that's it. That's our overlay. Our video is going to go right there in the middle where that empty space is. All right, let's go ahead and save this, clicking done. We don't need to do anything else. And that is all she wrote, guys. So that's going to do it for this video, you guys. I really appreciate you all coming out to chill with me and watch my tutorial on how to create an overlay. I hope it was really helpful for you guys, and it really gave you some insight on how to do all these steps and create your own overlays. But other than that, I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we will catch you in the next video, guys. Peace.